The team's out on parade, as you can see. Let's take you through the lineups ahead of tonight's Elite League Midland Derby. For the Birmingham Brummies, first of all, number 1 is their guest Edward Kennett. Number 2 is Ulrich Ostergaard. At 3, Ben Barker. Number 4, the skipper Danny King. Number 5 is Daniel Nurmark. At 6, James Wright. And number 7 is Klaus Wissing. For the Paris International Wolves, Freddie Lindgren goes at 1. Number 2 is Ty Proctor. At 3, Ludwig Lindgren. Number 4 is Ty Woofenden. Number 5, the skipper Peter Carlson. At 6 is Tyson Burmeister. And number 7 is Ricky Wells. It's been a day of mixed weather here in Birmingham, but you can see the track is well prepared ahead of tonight's Midland Derby. Another close encounter to follow up Monday's match in Prospect will be underway very shortly with this Elite League Midland Derby, Birmingham versus Wolverhampton. OK then, here we go, lining up for heat number 1. Birmingham taking gates 1 and 3, so it's Ulrich Ostergaard off the inside gate in blue. Next to him in yellow for the Wolves is Ty Proctor. Off gate 3 in red will be Edward Kennett, and off the outside in white, Freddie Lindgren, the Grand Prix star, of course. Lining up alongside Edward Kennett, the Coventry skipper, guesting for the absent Christoph Kasprzak tonight. Ulrich Ostergaard was at reserve for the Brummies in the return fixture up at Monmore Green on Monday. Moves back up into the main body of the team tonight, the popular Dane. Completing the lineup is Australian Ty Proctor, the former Peterborough man. Struggled slightly on Monday, but he did take a win in Heat 8 and hoping for improved form against the Brummies here tonight. The riders pulling into line then for heat number 1. Your referee is Mick Postlewhite, the start marshal about to walk away, and here we go. Ostergaard, Proctor, Kennett and Lindgren. Lead stars, and Ulrich Ostergaard gets away well from gate number 1. Freddie Lindgren trying to go around the outside on the first turn. Ostergaard will try and take the Swede wides. They go into turn number 3. They're side by side for the lead down the back straight for the first time. Lindgren on the outside. Ostergaard though holds the lead, and Birmingham gets Edward Kennett uncharacteristically at the back as Lindgren makes his move, and this time he does take the lead going into the second lap. So Freddie Lindgren leads the way, has topped the Elite League averages for the last couple of seasons, taking Ulrich Ostergaard for the lead. The Brummies returnee this year, of course, with the injury to Alice Drummond a few weeks ago. Ty Proctor, Freddie Lindgren's partner, up there in third place. Now Wolves may well be out for revenge. It was a very close run thing, the meeting on Monday. There was never more than 5 points between the sides. It'll be the Wolves that go into the early lead with a 4-2 if the order remains the same around this final lap. Freddie Lindgren, the clear leader in white. He comes round the final turn to take the win. Lindgren wins it. Ostergaard in second. Third place in yellow is Ty Proctor, and Edward Kennett, the Birmingham guest, at the back. So Wolves take the early lead then. Now I wonder if we're going to see this match follow a similar pattern to the meeting on Monday. Birmingham went into the early lead. They were 5 points up after 3 heats in that one, but the score was very, very close all the way through, and the Wolves just won out in the end. But it's the visitors once again that take first blood. Here at Perry Bar tonight, the score after 1 heat to Birmingham 2, Wolves 4. Moving on to heat number 2 then, the reserves race sees Tyson Burmeister off gate 1 for the Wolves in white. Gate 2 in red will be James Wright. Off 3 in yellow, Ricky Wells. Off gate 4 in blue, Klaus Wissing. Now Kevin Volberts was a star for the Brummies at reserve as Klaus Wissing nearly gets the tapes wrapped around his crash helmet there. Last minute hitch there for Klaus. He pulls back. The former Stoke and Peterborough man, shown some great form from reserve for the Brummies so far this year. He's partnered by James Wright, the man who doubles up with Workington in the Premier League, and Wolves represented by their 2 Americans. Tyson Burmeister, his first season in British Speedway this year. He partners another former Stoke rider, Ricky Wells, of course former Coventry reserve as well, the New Zealand-born American. So we're waiting Klaus Wissing to pull up to tapes then for this heat number 2. Burmeister, Wright, Wells and Wissing. A little bit of movement there from Ricky Wells in yellow, and the red lights do come on. Wolves lead the way into the first turn, but the red flags and the red lights are on. Race stopped by Mick Postlewhite. Ricky Wells jumping the start slightly there from gate number 3. Unsatisfactory start is ruled. It'll be all 4 riders for the rerun of heat number 2. Take 2 with heat 2. A reminder of the lineup. Tyson Burmeister off gate 1 in white. Off 2 in red, James Wright. Gate 3 in yellow, Ricky Wells. And off gate 4 in blue, Klaus Wissing. As you mentioned, Kevin Volbert was a star for the Brummies on Monday. He's replaced in the squad by James Wright in the doubling up role tonight. Still waiting James to pull up to tapes there. Here we go. Let's try again with heat number 2. Burmeister, Wright, Wells and Wissing. They get away this time, and James Wright makes a good start, so does Wissing from the outside. It's going to be Brummies 1 and 2 into that first turn. James Wright's the man from Workington leads the way in red, putting some fine performances in his doubling up role for the Brummies this season. Klaus Vissing backing him up all the way. With Ulrich Ostergaard, of course, who was in the number 6 slot on Monday, but he moves back up into the main body of the team with a bit of squad restructuring for the Brummies. And they lead it, they go into turn number 3, but down goes Klaus Vissing, and into him goes the man in yellow. That's a nasty one there, Ricky Wells. Klaus Vissing slid off there on the outside line at turn 3. Ricky Wells tried to lay his machine down, but instead slid into the side of Vissing's bike. Good to see the 2 riders up and okay. The blue light, of course, is on, so Klaus Vissing will be excluded. An odd parallel here with Monday's meeting at Monmore Green, where the Brummies were holding a 5-1, but Klaus Vissing fell at much the same point on the track, and it was Vissing who was excluded. So Klaus once again will be out of the rerun of heat number 2. James Wright left to fight alone for the Brummies, but a potentially nasty pile up there, but good to see both riders are okay. Will it be third time lucky then with heat number 2? This time we've got Tyson Burmeister off gate 1 in white, James Wright off gate 2 in red, and Ricky Wells off gate 3 in yellow. 3 riders only then, Klaus Vissing excluded. As we get ready for a third attempt at this heat number 2. 4-2 in favour of the Wolves, the score. Here we go then, Burmeister, Wright and Wells. 2 Americans and a Brit, and James Wright again gets away well. It's going to be close into that first turn. He cuts across the front of Tyson Burmeister. Ricky Wells goes to the outside, but it's Wright in the lead. James Wright leads the way then, the man who started his career at Buxton, now with Workington in the Premier League. Chased by Ricky Wells, the former Coventry reserve, having a good season at reserve for the Wolves. He was something of a surprise signing, as indeed was his partner Tyson Burmeister, the former USA Dream Team member. He's back in third, so it's looking like a 3-all, just as it was on Monday in heat number 2. Ricky Wells trying to close in, but James Wright extends his lead there, going down the back straight. May not have appeared in every Brummies meeting this year, but when he has, he's certainly put in some good performances from reserve. Ricky Wells not able to catch him. Burmeister further back in third in white, the Californian. So it's looking like a share of the points. That means Wolves will keep their lead following heat number 2, but the win goes to James Wright in red. Second place in yellow to Ricky Wells, and Tyson Burmeister comes in third in white. Well, it was looking like a 5-1 to the Brummies during the second running of heat number 2. And that meant they would have taken the lead, but as it is, the Wolves hold their lead with James Wright taking the win, and the Wolves packing the minor placings for a shared heat in this heat number 2. James Wright heading round in celebration. A sizable crowd here tonight, with it being, of course, a Midland derby. And a well-received victory for James Wright. The score after 2 heats moves on to Birmingham 5, Wolverhampton 7. So can the Brummies take the lead for the first time then in this heat number 3? Their skipper Danny King is off gate 1 in blue. Gate 2 in whites for the Wolves is Ludwig Lindgren. Off 3 in red, Ben Barker. And off the outside in yellow, Ty Woofenden, the British under-21 champion. Of course, he was involved back in 2008. He was involved in a big smash when riding for Rye House here at Perivale, when he went flying over the back straight fence, ended up on the Greyhound track, so hoping for better fortunes tonight. Partnering former Brummie Ludwig Lindgren. Of course, we spoke to him earlier, the younger of the 2 Lindgren brothers. Birmingham represented by their 2 Brits, skipper Danny King, the former Peterborough and Ipswich man, and Ben Barker, hoping to be in fast gating form, as you've seen so many times before here at Perivale this season. Very close together with Ludwig Lindgren there off the middle 2 gates. Here we go then, heat number 3, King, Lindgren, Barker and Woofenden. Away they go. Danny King makes a super start from the inside in blue. He takes the lead, chased by Ty Woofenden. Ben Barker was left shut out on that first turn. He's at the back, but coming around the outside of Ludwig Lindgren, trying to take that third place away. Goes for the wider line. It's work for him. Ben Barker up into third place. But it's Danny King that leads the way. If it stays like this, the scores will be level with a 4-2 to the Brummies. But Ty Woofenden will chase hard after Danny King. Ty, a former Grand Prix rider, of course, last season. Pulling away from the third place man, Ben Barker. Ludwig Lindgren not enjoying the best of seasons with the Wolves. His second full-time season with the Monmore side in the Elite League. Ty Woofenden closing in slowly but surely. Can he catch Danny King? He's closing up on him. Going into turn 1, but he gets some lift there. Ty Woofenden all over the place. Does well to hang on to the machine. That's lost him his chance of challenging Danny King on the final turn. It's going to be a win for the Brummies skipper. King wins it in blue. Woofenden holds on for second in yellow. Third in red is Ben Barker, and Ludwig Lindgren on his former home track at the back in white. So that means the scores are level then with a 4-2 to the Brummies. Good stuff from Danny King, leading all the way. Ty Woofenden looked like he was likely to challenge there on the final lap, but nearly lost it coming out of turn number 2 and had to settle for second place. It's Birmingham 9, Wolverhampton 9. Riders on their way to the tapes for heat number 4 then, with the Brummies looking to take the lead for the first time. Gate 1 in blue is Klaus Vissing. Next to him in yellow, Ricky Wells. First appearance of Daniel Nurmark tonight. He's off gate 3 in red. Likewise for the man in white off the outside. That is Wolves skipper Peter Carlson, one of the Wolves' greatest ever riders. The Monmore Master, as he's known. He's off gate number 4 in white, partnering Ricky Wells. Klaus Vissing will be hoping for better fortunes this time. Nasty looking tumble for him in heat number 2, and Ricky Wells unfortunately running into him. Daniel Nurmark completes the lineup. Another man racing against his former club tonight. Of course, made his debut in Britain with the Wolves 10 years ago. He's ridden for Kings Lynn and Workington, among others, since then. Next action here at Perry Bar is in 2 weeks' time, the 21st of July, when the Lakeside Hammers are in town. We'll have all the action from that one for you on DVD and Blu-ray right here at Clean Cut Sports. Still waiting the riders to pull forward then, 9 apiece the score going into heat number 4. Vissing, Wells, Nurmark and Carlson from the outside. Tapes up and away we go. Klaus Vissing makes a good start, so does Daniel Nurmark. He'll try to send Peter Carlson wide into the first turn, and it's Birmingham at 1 and 2 as they go down the back straight for the first time. Klaus Vissing looking to improve things. Daniel Nurmark, his partner on the outside. Peter Carlson is used to coming through from the back. He's not a rider known for making quick starts. The Brummies will have to team ride him out of it. Ricky Wells at the back in yellow, but look at the lead that the two Brummies have now over Wolves skipper Peter Carlson. Looking for the first 5-1 of the night for either side. Daniel Nurmark it is that leads the way from Klaus Vissing. This will be quite a notable scalp for Klaus. It has to be said if he can stay ahead of Peter Carlson. Coming round to start the final lap in the sunshine here at Perry Bar. Daniel Nurmark on the outside. Klaus Vissing covering the tighter line. Peter Carlson not able to close in. It's already getting pretty dusty out there, as you can see. Been 1 or 2 rain showers during the day here today, but the track is drying out nicely. Birmingham are going to take the 5-1, then Daniel Nurmark wins it in red. Second in blue, Klaus Vissing. Peter Carlson, not too often we see him on the wrong end of a 5-1. He's third in white, and Ricky Wells at the back in yellow. So that means that Birmingham do indeed take the lead in the most emphatic fashion possible there with a fine 5-1 in heat number 4. It's Birmingham 14, Wolverhampton 10. Four points in it then as we go into heat number 5 with Ty Proctor off gate 1 for the Wolves in yellow. Gate 2 in red for the Brummies is Ben Barker. Off 3 in white is Freddie Lindgren. And off the outside in blue, Brummies skipper Danny King. Both he and Lindgren looking for their second race wins of the night. Meanwhile, Ty Proctor is on 1. Ben Barker, likewise on 1, was pegged back to 3rd in heat number 3. So looking for his first win of the night. Can anyone stop Freddie Lindgren, the Elite League's fastest rider over the last couple of seasons? Danny King and Ben Barker have been possibly the strongest pairing for Birmingham so far this season, the two Brits. Well, Ty Proctor coming into slightly better form in the last couple of meetings, the Aussie off the inside in yellow. 14-10 the score then as we wait for Ben Barker to settle on gate number 2. And here we go with heat number 5, Proctor, Barker, Lindgren and King. And left at the line there, Ty Proctor looks like his engine has let go. The bike goes up in a cloud of smoke. Ty Proctor is out of it. It's side by side for the lead meantime between Ben Barker and Freddie Lindgren, and Barker pulls ahead, moves across the front of Lindgren there at turn number 3. Bad luck then for Ty Proctor. Freddie Lindgren left to fight alone for the Wolves. Certainly looks as though his engine has let go rather spectacularly there. Smoke everywhere on the start line. It's Barker that leads it from Lindgren, and in 3rd place in blue is Danny King. Well, Ben Barker made headlines earlier this season when Coventry visited. He was the only man to beat Grand Prix star Emil Sayfutdinov, and he's looking to defeat another Grand Prix star here in Freddie Lindgren. Lindgren to the outside as they go into turns 3 and 4. We saw Barker use this line earlier on to take Ludwig Lindgren, and Freddie Lindgren has clearly been watching closely. He's around the outside, he takes the lead. Good move by Freddie Lindgren there, around the outside, down the home straight and into turn 1. He's looking good to make it 2 wins out of 2. Barker fighting back on the inside, but it's going to be Freddie Lindgren who takes the win for the Wolves. Second in red is Ben Barker, and 3rd in blue, Danny King. Great ride there from Freddie Lindgren. That's the race of the night so far. And another Brummies heat advantage is denied by the flying Wolves number 1, Freddie Lindgren. His partner, by contrast, never got off the start line. His engine let go on him as he tried to leave the line. So it's a 3-all from heat number 5. It's now Birmingham 17, Wolverhampton 13. Heat number 6 coming to the tapes in this Elite League Midland Derby. Edward Kennett is off gate 1 in red for the Brummies. Gate 2 for the Wolves in white will be Peter Carlson. Off 3 in blue, Ulrich Ostergaard. And off gate 4 in yellow, Tyson Burmeister. So an uncharacteristic last place then for Edward Kennett, the Brummies guest in heat number 1. He'll aim to put that right here, but he's up against Peter Carlson, just pulling up to tapes there in white. Likewise, an unlikely result for him, it has to be said, in heat number 4. Not often we see the Swede on the wrong end of a 5-1. Ulrich Ostergaard back out, 2 points for him. Finished second to Freddie Lindgren in heat number 1. Certainly enjoying his return to Brummies colours, the popular Dane. Tyson Burmeister, the American, off the outside gate in yellow on 1 and a bonus, courtesy of third place in the reserves race. Looking to chip in a few more points here for the Wolves. Of course, they won by 3 points up at Monmore Green on Monday. The Brummies currently ahead by 4. Riders pulling into line then for heat number 6. Kennett, Carlson, Ostergaard and Burmeister. Tapes up and they're away, and Edward Kennett gets away well, so does Peter Carlson. He'll try to cut across on the first turn. Kennett sends him wide. Here comes Tyson Burmeister with a switch up the inside. 3 wide there coming out of turn number 2, and Ulrich Ostergaard was the man who lost out to the Wolves pairing. But it's Edward Kennett that leads the way on that wider line that we saw Freddie Lindgren using in the previous heat. Peter Carlson in second, and Ulrich Ostergaard trying to take Tyson Burmeister for that third place. First 2 have gone clear then, the 2 heat leaders. Edward Kennett, former Eastbourne and Poolman. Won the league, of course, with Coventry last season. Peter Carlson chasing him hard as Ostergaard has another go at Burmeister there side by side. Coming off at turn number 2, Burmeister holding that third place as Kennett continues on that wider line. He leads the way into the last lap. Main point of interest, this battle for third. This is where Ulrich Ostergaard is stronger. Up the inside, coming out of turn number 2. Has he done enough this time? He tries to cut across the American, and he's done it. Ostergaard through into third place. The win is going to go to Edward Kennett for the Brummies in red as Burmeister slows up off the final turn. Carlson comes in second, Ostergaard third, Burmeister fourth. So good battle going on for third there, but out in front, Peter Carlson could not catch Edward Kennett to make some amends for his last place in heat number 1 by taking the win. That means Birmingham extend their lead by another couple of points. It's Birmingham 21, Wolverhampton 15. Six heats gone and there's 6 points in it. It's 21-15. Heat number 7 sees Ludwig Lindgren going from gate 1 in white for Wolves. Gate 2 for the Brummies in red is Daniel Nermark. Off 3 in yellow it's Ty Woofenden. Off the outside in blue will be James Wright. James looking for his second win of the evening. There he is off gate number 4 in blue. Partnering Daniel Nermark, likewise looking for his second win of the night. While Ty Woofenden is on 2. Ludwig Lindgren on his former home track, yet to open his accounts. Fell victim to a move around the outside from Ben Barker, of course, in his first ride in heat number 3. Bit of smoke there from James Wright's machine. Hope that's nothing major. So Daniel Nermark and James Wright both looking for their second wins of the night, then taking on Ty Woofenden. The full lineup from the inside: Lindgren, Nermark, Woofenden and Wright. Away they go, and Daniel Nermark makes a good start. Ty Woofenden tries to cut in on the first turn, but he can't do so, and it's Nermark that leads the way. Woofenden tries again, nearly clips the Swede's back wheel going into the back straight, and Ludwig Lindgren is up there as well in third, ahead of James Wright. Ty Woofenden very nearly into the back of Daniel Nermark. I thought we were going to see a catastrophe there on turn number 4. The riders managed to hold it together, and again Woofenden's all over the place in that second place. Runs out wide coming off turn number 2. His partner Ludwig Lindgren is in there behind him, ahead of James Wright. Ty Woofenden does seem to be struggling slightly to get his lines right here in this heat number 7. That's allowing Daniel Nermark to extend his lead as he looks to complete the double. Looking good for his second win of the night. Daniel Nermark leads as they come round to start the final lap, increasing his advantage over Ty Woofenden. By contrast though, James Wright can't seem to get onto level terms with Ludwig Lindgren for that third place. Ludwig displaying his knowledge of Perry Barr, but it's going to be a win for Daniel Nermark in red. He makes it 2 wins out of 2. Second place in yellow is Ty Woofenden. Third place in white, Ludwig Lindgren. And fourth in blue, James Wright. That means a shared heat, and Brummies keep their 6-point lead. Good stuff there from Daniel Nermark. Ty Woofenden trying the challenge, but just couldn't seem to keep his machine steady. He was all over the place, particularly in the early laps, and that let Daniel, the former Wolves man, extend his lead. He's certainly pleased with that one. Heads around in celebration, taking the plaudits from the fans down there on the home straight After 7 heats, the gap remains at 6 points. It's Birmingham 24, Wolverhampton 18. On to heat number 8 then of this Elite League Midland derby. Ricky Wells goes off gate number 1 for the Wolves in yellow. Gate 2 in blue is Klaus Vissing. Off 3 in white, Ty Proctor. And off gate 4 in red will be Ulrich Ostergaard. He's had a good night so far, 3 points from 2 rides. Klaus Vissing made up for his fall in heat number 2 by taking a fine 5-1 along with Daniel Nurmark in heat number 4. He's on 2 and a bonus. Ty Proctor looking for better fortunes this time. Looks like he's on his second bike after his engine failure earlier on. And Ricky Wells, currently on 2 points, completes the lineup from the inside. Here we go then. Wells, Vissing, Proctor and Ostergaard. This is heat number 8. And a bit of an early start there by Klaus Vissing in blue. The red lights are on. So the race stopped by referee Mick Postlewhite. Klaus Vissing moving off too early there from gate number 2. Unsatisfactory start is ruled. Once again, all 4 riders allowed back for the rerun. Klaus Vissing moving off a little bit too early there, but he didn't actually hit the tapes, so he is allowed in the rerun of heat number 8. Getting ready for the restart of this heat number 8 then. Ricky Wells off gate 1 in yellow. Klaus Vissing off gate 2 in blue. This man, Ty Proctor, off gate 3 in white. And Ulrich Ostergaard off gate 4 in red. As you mentioned earlier, the next action's in 2 weeks' time. No Speedway here at Perry Bar next week because it's the Speedway World Cup. The next action is on Thursday, the 21st of July. It's Birmingham versus Lakeside. And we'll have all the action for you, of course, on DVD and Blu-ray from Clean Cut Sports. So Ricky Wells and Ty Proctor looking to pull things back for the Wolves. Of course, they led after 2 heats, but the Brummies have pulled away to lead 24-18 after 7 heats. Klaus Vissing looking for another quick start, although not quite as quick possibly as his gate in the first running of heat number 8, which saw the race call back. And Ulrich Ostergaard looking for his first win of the night off the outside in red. Let's try again then with heat number 8. Wells, Vissing, Proctor and Ostergaard. Again, Klaus Vissing makes a quick start. And he leads the way into the first turn. Here comes Ostergaard around the outside of Ricky Wells, and he's up into second place. It's Brummies 1 and 2 down the back straight. Wells has a look on the inside, round the outside comes Ty Proctor, almost 3 abreast there for second place coming off turn number 4. Can Vissing hang on? Only just as the man in white attacks. Ty Proctor locks up a little going into turn number 1. He has a throttle back there to avoid running into the side of Klaus Vissing. And it's the 2 Danes that set the pace for the Brummies. Ulrich Ostergaard leads it on the wider line. Klaus Vissing covering the inside, as we saw when he rode alongside Daniel Nurmark in heat number 4. Again, Ty Proctor lunges in too quickly there into turn number 1, has to lock up, struggling slightly with the Perry Bar track by the look of things. At the back in yellow, it's Ricky Wells, but Birmingham's Danish pairing are on their way to the second 5-1 of the night. That'll put the Brummies 10 points clear, and that'll leave Wolves manager Peter Adams with the chance to use the tactical ride rule, of course, with his side 10 points behind, and that's how they're going to end up after this heat number 8, because Ostergaard takes the win. Second in blue, Klaus Vissing. Third in white goes to Ty Proctor, and Ricky Wells at the back in yellow. So the 2 Danes take a 5-1 for the Brummies, then the second 5-1 of this evening's meeting. Ty Proctor tried his hardest, but just couldn't quite seem to get the pit's turn right, it has to be said. He has to settle for 3rd place, with Ricky Wells completing the finishers as the man in blue, Klaus Vissing, heads round to celebrate his second paid win of the night. He's unbeaten by a Wolves rider, save for that spill in heat number 2. So good stuff for the Brummies then. It's Birmingham 29, Wolverhampton 19. Well, with the Wolves 10 points down, it's no surprise to see Peter Carlson in the black and white helmet here for heat number 9. He takes a tactical ride for the Wolves. If he beats a Birmingham rider, of course, his points will be doubled. Peter Carlson then off gate number 1 in black and white, going for double points. The rest of the lineup sees Danny King off gate 2 in blue. Off 3 in yellow, it's Tyson Burmeister, and gate 4 in red will be Ben Barker. So Birmingham's 2 Brits out to stop Peter Carlson here. Of course, he has to beat a Birmingham rider, or his points will not be doubled. Tyson Burmeister, 1 and a bonus for the American so far. While Peter Carlson is on 3 points from 2 rides. He's had a third, followed by a second, hoping to follow up the sequence with a win here in this heat number 9. 29-19 the score. Well, Brummies came close on Monday up at Monmore Green, but now it's the Wolves that have to fight back in this Elite League Midland Derby encounter. Just awaiting Peter Carlson to pull up to tapes then, off at gates number 1. Ben Barker settling off gate number 4, looking for a quicker gate than last time out. He has used that outside line well in his 2 rides so far. Here we go then, heat number 9. Carlson, King, Burmeister and Barker. Good start again by Danny King, goes level with Peter Carlson into that first turn. King will go for drive around the outside, but it's Carlson with the lead. King has a look on the outside, but while they're doing that, Ben Barker having a look on the inside. Not quite enough room for him to get through before turn number 3 as King tries again, and he's got him around the outside. So the cheers of the Brummies fans. Danny King takes the lead in blue. Carlson in second, Ben Barker in third. So if it stays like this, it'll be a 4-all from heat number 9. Tyson Burmeister at the back once again in yellow as Danny King leads. You can see where the grip is on that turn number 4 on the wider line. Danny King knows that, and a fine move around the outside of Peter Carlson, similar to Ben Barker's move on Ludwig Lindgren, of course, in heat number 3. Carlson trying to fight back, but Ben Barker is staying with him, the young Cornishman. Doubles up, of course, with Plymouth in the Premier League, and he's starting to close a little on Peter Carlson. Is he going to go for a lunge around the outside on this last turn? I don't think he's going to get close enough. Danny King, meantime, is going to take the win. Carlson comes over in second for 4 points. Ben Barker in third in red and Tyson Burmeister at the back in yellow. So a 4-all is the results then from heat number 9. The tactical ride cancelled out by a fine ride from Danny King to take his second win of the night. Ben Barker not quite able to join him for a 5-1 over Peter Carlson. He does take an excellent second win of the evening. Good stuff from the Brummies skipper. It's now Birmingham 33, Wolverhampton 23. Heat number 10 going to the tapes then with Ty Woofenden off gate number 1 for the Wolves in yellow. Gate 2 in blue, it's Ulrich Ostergaard. Off 3 in white, Ludwig Lindgren. And off gate 4 in red, Edward Kennett. The Brummies guest for Christoph Kasprzak, looking for his second win of the night, as is Ulrich Ostergaard. He's on 6 points from 3 rides so far. Ludwig Lindgren, again struggling slightly with 1 in the bonus, finding the going slightly tough in 2011 in the Elite League. Ty Woofenden, 2 second places so far. He looks to go 1 better off gate number 1. Gates 2 and 4 have been working the best so far through the evening. That's where the Brummies are sitting for this heat at number 10. Edward Kennett looking for his second win then from the outside gate. Let's see what's going to happen in this heat number 10. Woofenden, Ostergaard, Lindgren and Kennett. Away they go, and Ostergaard gets away well, so does Woofenden. Looks like it's going to be Ty Woofenden who takes the lead. Ludwig Lindgren up the inside, finding space there, as through the middle comes Edward Kennett. He's up in the second place behind Ty Woofenden. The 2 young Brits have always enjoyed something of a rivalry. It's Woofenden that leads from Kennett. Ludwig Lindgren in third place. Ulrich Ostergaard went out wide on the first turn. He's at the back in blue. So it'll be a 4-2 to the Wolves if it stays like this, and they'll close in by a couple of points. Edward Kennett trying his hardest to attack on turn number 4, but it's Woofenden that leads the way. Won the British Under-21 Championship this year. Came close to the British senior title as well, only to tangle with the man who's currently chasing him in the final at Monmore Green. Kennett and Woofenden tangled. Woofenden had to settle the third place. Edward Kennett was fourth as Scott Nichols went on to win the British title and the wild card at the British Grand Prix. Further back, Ludwig Lindgren is under fire from the man in blue as Kennett has a look down the inside on the final turn. He's through on the inside and touches the win right on the line, and the man in blue got through for third place as well. Now, it has to be said, with the single camera production, that was pretty frustrating, that last lap, because it was hard to know where to look. A last bend lunge from Ulrich Ostergaard won him third place from Ludwig Lindgren, but while that was going on, Edward Kennett did likewise to Ty Woofenden and snatched the win on the line. A 4-2 then from heats number 10, and the score now, Birmingham 37, Wolverhampton 25. So, Wolves 12 points down going into heat number 11, and that means that we see the black and white helmet out once again as Freddie Lindgren takes a tactical ride. The full lineup sees Daniel Nurmark off gate 1 in red. Lindgren goes off gate 2 in black and white. Off 3 in blue will be James Wright, and off the outside in yellow, Ty Proctor. So Freddie Lindgren unbeaten so far. In fact, he's the only race winner for Wolves so far tonight with his 2 victories, going for the hat-trick and going for double points off gate number 2. Daniel Nurmark taking him on. He's also unbeaten so far, 2 wins out of 2. James Wright on 3 points courtesy of his win in the reserves race, while Ty Proctor on just a couple. And of course, he's now on his second bike following that engine failure earlier on in his second ride. So, can Lindgren take some double points then? Let's find out. From the inside, Nurmark, Lindgren, Wright and Proctor. This is heat number 11, and Daniel Nurmark gets a flyer, so does Lindgren. The two Swedes lead into the first turn, but the red lights have come on. The red lights have come on. Unsatisfactory start is ruled, and we'll have a second attempt at heat number 11. Ty Proctor is the man worn by Mick Postlewhite there, so Ty moving off a bit early. Take a second attempt with all four riders at heat number 11. Let's try again then with heats number 11. A reminder of the lineup: Daniel Nurmark off gate 1 in red, off 2 in black and white, Freddie Lindgren, off 3 in blue, James Wright, and off 4 in yellow, Ty Proctor. So, 2 unbeaten riders off the inside then. Daniel Nurmark on 6, Freddie Lindgren on 6. The only Wolves race winner tonight so far, and looking for a double win here in heat number 11 to get Wolves back into the swing of things. 37-25 is the score. Let's see if Daniel Nurmark can stop Lindgren's winning run and continue his own. Second attempt then at heat number 11. Nurmark, Lindgren, Wright and Proctor from the outside. Away they go. Daniel Nurmark gets exactly the start he wants. He sends Lindgren wide into the first turn. Here comes James Wright having a look on the inside. Lindgren will challenge down the inside, down the back straight, and he takes the lead from Daniel Nurmark. And look at the way Ty Proctor is going, having a go on the inside as well. Nurmark goes out very wide looking for grip. He's nearly clipped the fence. I think he did clip the fence there briefly, and it's Wolves 1 and 2. Now, if it stays like this, it'll be an 8-1 to the visitors, and the match will be wide open once again. Daniel Nurmark needs to wind his throttle on here, needs to get through the dust being thrown up by Ty Proctor. Much improved performance from the Australian. Lindgren looking good for 6 points, and suddenly it's all going wrong for the Brummies. James Wright is at the back in blue, and would you believe there's a few spots of rain falling? Wouldn't have thought that earlier on. That just shows how changeable the weather has been here in Birmingham today. It's Wolverhampton all the way in this heat number 11. Freddie Lindgren is going to take 6 points for his third win of the night. Still unbeaten, Freddie Lindgren wins it. Second place in yellow, Ty Proctor. Third in red is Daniel Nurmark. And at the back in blue, James Wright. So an 8-1 to the Wolves then. What has that done to the score? The gap is now down to just 5 points. It's wide open once again, with Freddie Lindgren continuing his unbeaten run with a 6-pointer and a brilliant ride by Ty Proctor to come through for second place. It's Birmingham 38, Wolverhampton 33. So the Brummies looking to re-establish their lead then in heats number 12, with Ben Barker off gate 1 in red. Next to him in yellow is Tyson Burmeister. Off 3 in blue, Klaus Wissing, and off the outside in white, Ludwig Lindgren. The man to watch here could well be the man in blue, Klaus Wissing. 2 paid wins, unbeaten by an opponent, barring that fall in heat 2. Ben Barker, meanwhile, looking for his first win of the night. He's on 4 from 3 rides. Tyson Burmeister with 1 and a bonus, and Ludwig Lindgren likewise with 1 and a bonus. So 2 of Wolves' lower scorers here in this heat number 12. This could be Birmingham's chance to re-establish their lead following the setback of that 8-1 to Wolves in the last race. Ben Barker needs to make a fast gate here off gate number 1. Gate 1 hasn't been working too well so far tonight, it has to be said, so hopefully things will change here in this heat at number 12. Barker, Burmeister, Wissing and Lindgren. Away they go. Ben Barker does get away well. Looks like he's going to hit the first turn first. He goes out very wide there, nearly into the air fence. Bad news for Ben Barker, but good news for Klaus Wissing as he takes up the lead in blue. Barker trying to fight back around the outside of Tyson Burmeister, who's showing well in second place. Barker using that favoured outside line, coming off that turn number 4, up alongside Tyson Burmeister for second. He goes for dirt again, coming off turn number 2, and he's through into second place. Great recovery by Ben Barker. Looked like he was heading straight for the air fence on the first turn, but he's back up into second place behind the flying Klaus Wissing. Ludwig Lindgren is at the back in white. Birmingham looking for the perfect result to re-establish their lead. It'll be 9 points the gap if it stays like this. Wissing leads into the last lap, lifting there, coming off turn number 4. Tyson Burmeister still there in third, but just cannot match the pace of Brummies heat leader Ben Barker. It's looking good for a third 5-1 of the night to the Birmingham Brummies. Here they come off the final turn. Klaus Wissing takes the win, Barker in second. Third in yellow is Tyson Burmeister, and Ludwig Lindgren again at the back in white. So the Brummies answer the Wolves maximum in the last race with one of their own. A 5-1 to the Brummies puts them 9 points clear once again. Klaus Wissing certainly pleased with that one. He's unbeaten by an opponent, still barring, of course, that spill in Heat 2. The two Brummies head round in celebration. A wheelie from Ben Barker. Klaus Wissing punches the air in delight. He's certainly pleased with that one. A great night following that spill for the Dane. He certainly turned things around very well indeed. And the Brummies pull away once again. It's Birmingham 43, Wolverhampton 34. On to heat number 13 then. This race sees Freddie Lindgren going off gate number 1 in white for the Wolves. Next to him for the Brummies in red, it's Edward Kennett. Off 3 in yellow is Peter Carlson. And off gate 4 in blue will be Daniel Nurmark. Now, the two men off the inside, Freddie Lindgren and Edward Kennett, just over a week ago had 3 epic races when Coventry visited Wolverhampton. Some quite superb action in that meeting, which is available incidentally from Clean Cut Sports. Edward Kennett enjoying 3 very close races indeed with Freddie Lindgren, and we'll see if that rivalry continues here in this heat 13. Peter Carlson yet to take a race win, 2 seconds and a third, including that tactical ride in heat 9. He's on 7 points so far, while Daniel Nurmark completes the lineup. His hopes for maximum were extinguished last time out in heat number 11, when Wolves of course raced to that 8-1. He'll aim to get back to winning ways from the outside gate in blue. Edward Kennett's 2 wins and a 4th place meantime, and last place for him in heat 1. Daniel Nurmark and Edward Kennett will be out to try and end the unbeaten run of Wolves number 1, Freddie Lindgren. There's 9 points in it, so it's still far from over in this Elite League encounter. Are we going to see another Wolves fight back here in this heat number 13? Still all to play for here in this Midland derby. Looks like a few drops of rain we had at the end of heat number 12 have relented. The sun is out once again, sun setting over the second city as we get ready for heat number 13. Just waiting Peter Carlson to pull into line in gate number 3. Great racing prospect on paper. Let's see what happens then. Lindgren, Kennett, Carlson and Nurmark. 3 Swedes and a Brit out there. It's the Brit that makes a good start. Edward Kennett takes the lead into the first turn. Lindgren having a look on the inside. He takes the lead coming out of turn number 2. Moves across the block, Edward Kennett, and here comes Peter Carlson, but he won't get through on the inside at turn number 3. Kennett attacks, takes Lindgren wide, but Lindgren holds the lead. Here comes Carlson having a second attack at Edward Kennett. He's up the inside. Has he got second position? Kennett fights back. They're side by side for second place. Kennett holds second. At the back in blue is Daniel Nurmark. Edward Kennett's got to race as hard as he can as Peter Carlson chops across him there at turn number 4. Where did he find the grip on the inside line? Great move by Peter Carlson, and it's Wolves 1 and 2 once again. This match still far from over. Kennett goes for grip around the outside, trying to retake Peter Carlson for that second place. Carlson's having none of it, moves out on the exit. They're on the last lap now. Lindgren is going to take the win, barring disaster. Who is going to be second? Edward Kennett is going to go for a last spend lunge, I'm sure. It's going to be a win for Freddie Lindgren in white. He'll still be unbeaten, but who is going to be second? Kennett's not going to do it. And Peter Carlson comes over in second in yellow, third in red, Edward Kennett, and at the back in blue, Daniel Nurmark. And the pendulum swings back the other way in favour of Wolves once again. No side able to establish a firm advantage over these closing heats. The gap is back down to 5 points, to 5-1 for Freddie Lindgren and Peter Carlson. It's Birmingham 44, Wolverhampton 39. Five points in it then, with 2 heats to go. With a couple of 5-1s, Wolves could actually snatch the win, if my calculations in the programme are correct. Heat number 14, we'll see Klaus Wissing replacing James Wright off gate 1 in blue. Gate 2 in white will be Ty Woffinden. Off 3 in red is Danny King. And off the outside in yellow will be Ricky Wells. Hard to believe that Wolves have only had 1 race winner so far. That, of course, is the unbeaten Freddie Lindgren. Whereas the only Birmingham rider who's not yet won a race is Ben Barker. Certainly an all-round performance from the Brummies tonight, but Freddie Lindgren inspiring Wolves. They're just 5 points behind going into this heat number 14. Ty Woffenden's had a trio of second places so far. Ricky Wells has had 1. He's on 2 points. Klaus Wissing, 7 and 2 from 4 rides. Danny King is on 7 and a bonus. Still all to play for them over the final 2 heats of another ultra-close Elite League Midland derby. Here we go then with heat number 14. Wissing, Woffenden, King and Wells. Can Birmingham re-establish their advantage? Let's find out. Klaus Wissing gets away well, so does Woffenden. The inside gate's certainly working well tonight. Wissing side by side with the British under-21 champion out of turn number 2, but it's Woffenden who pulls ahead into turn 3. Wissing in second, Danny King is third as Wissing attacks. Woffenden goes out wide to find the grip on turn number 4. The Brummies need to work together here to try and close down Ty Woffenden for the lead. Wissing gets some lift there coming off turn number 2. That's lost them a bit of ground. And it's Wolverhampton that leads the way, the former Scunthorpe and Rye House rider. Spent one season in the Grand Prix last year, of course. Klaus Wissing trying his hardest to close in, and Ricky Wells having a go at Danny King. That's a surprise for third place. Is King's machine struggling, perhaps? Wells' machine is now struggling, and it looks like he's out of it. So Danny King now safe again for third place, surviving a scare there. Ricky Wells' bike has sadly let him down. He's out of the race. But Ty Wolverhampton, no such problem for him. He is going to take his first win of the night. Here they come towards the line. Wolverhampton wins it in white. Second in blue goes to Klaus Wissing. And third place in red, Danny King, surviving that late scare on the third lap. So there's still 5 points in it then, as we go into the final race of the night. That leaves Birmingham needing a 4-2 to take all 3 league points. While the only way Wolves can snatch a draw is with a 5-0 in heat number 15. That's the situation as it stands then, with 1 heat to go. Birmingham 47, Wolverhampton 42. Here we go then with heat number 15. Wolverhampton take gates 1 and 3. The lineup: Freddie Lindgren off gate 1 white. Danny King gate 2 red. Peter Carlson gate 3 yellow. Edward Kennett gate 4 blue. Birmingham need a 4-2 to win by 7 points and take all 3 of the league points on offer. Any other results: Birmingham get 2 points, Wolverhampton get 1, with the exception of a 5-0 to the Wolves, which is unlikely, but stranger things have happened in Speedway. And then in that case, it would be a draw. So that's the situation going into this heat 15. A heat advantage acquired by the Brummies. Peter Carlson just turning away there. Now, Wolves taking 1 and 3. In the last couple of heats, gates 1 and 3 have been by far the most successful. So the last 3 heats, I think all the winners have come from gates 1 and 3. So that could give the Wolves an advantage. Brummies needing a heat advantage. Danny King is on 8 and 2 bonus points so far. Edward Kennett is on 7. Freddie Lindgren looking for a Perry Bar maximum from the inside gate in white. So the league points still in the balance as we get ready for heat number 15. Here we go then. Lindgren, King, Carlson and Kennett. Away they go. Danny King gets away well. Lindgren going to be shut out on the first turn on the inside. Danny King covering the inside line. Edward Kennett needs to get through as well. Peter Carlson down the outside in the second place. He's going to go for the lead as they go into turn number 3. It's side by side between the men in red and yellow. Is that outside line going to work for Peter Carlson? Indeed it is. He takes the lead on the outside from Danny King. Edward Kennett needs to get into the equation as well as it stands at the moment. And around the outside comes Lindgren. He's up into second place. So as it stands, certainly Wolves are going to take a league point. There's going to be just 1 point in it if it stays like this. Wolves Swedish spearhead for the second time tonight on a 5-1. Edward Kennett not able to get onto level terms. Danny King is dropping back in red. It's going to be a 1 point win if it stays like this for the Brummies. Wolverhampton are going to rescue a league point. Certainly Wolves have been stronger over the last couple of heats, with the exception of that 5-1 as Peter Carlson goes out very wide there on the pits turn, and he manages to hold second place. Here comes Danny King up onto the outside on the final turn. Lindgren wins it. Carlson hangs on for second. Third place in red goes to Danny King, and Edward Kennett at the back in blue. A 5-1 then, a second 5-1 in 3 heats for Wolves Swedish spearhead. Freddie Lindgren completes his maximum. Peter Carlson nearly hitting the fence coming off the pits turn there for the last time. Birmingham take the win by just a solitary point. Another super close Elite League Midland derby. That means Birmingham get 2 league points. Wolverhampton get 1. Maximum man Freddie Lindgren celebrates with a wheelie. Peter Carlson backing him up all the way. Final score here at Perry Bar tonight: Birmingham 48, Wolverhampton 47. So the Brummies rider of the night, Klaus Wissing, on the microphone with Chris Simpson down there. Looks like he's auctioning off his silencer. The rider of the night certainly for the Brummies reserve, Klaus Wissing. The rest of the Brummies are heading round on parade, so we'll check out the individual scorers for the home side. Edward Kennett scored 7, Ulrich Ostergaard 7, Ben Barker 6 and 1, Danny King 9 and 2, Daniel Nurmark 7, James Wright 3, and Klaus Wissing 9 plus 2. That's what you call all-round team scoring, to say the least. For the Wolves, Freddie Lindgren scored an 18-point maximum, Ty Proctor 4 and 1, Ludwig Lindgren 1 and 1, Ty Wolverhampton 9, Peter Carlson 11 and 2, Tyson Burmeister 2 and 1, and Ricky Wells scored 2. That all adds up to Birmingham 48, Wolverhampton 47. Birmingham take 2 league points, Wolverhampton take 1. We're back here, don't forget, in 2 weeks' time, July the 21st. The Brummies take on the Lakeside Hammers. We'll have all the action for you on DVD and Blu-ray from that meeting. But until then, this is Dave Goddard signing off here at Perry Bar. From all of us here at Clean Cut Sports, thanks very much for watching and goodbye.